Nemojte da mislite da nećete odvesti Bosnu i Hercegovinu u pakao, a muslimanski narod možda u nestanak. Jer muslimanski narod ne može da se odbrani ako bude rat ovdje.
This is what a convicted war criminal and Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic said in February 1991, more than 4 years before Serb forces committed genocide in Srebrenica, killing at least 8,372 Bosnian Muslims. Genocide is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but many aren't clear about its meaning. It includes any of these acts: killing, causing serious bodily or mental harm, imposing measures that prevent birth, imposing life-threatening living conditions, and forcible displacement of children. The aim of these crimes is to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. And genocide itself has 8 phases. Here's how it applied to Bosnian Muslims in 1995. The nationalist idea of having all the Serbs in one country called Greater Serbia goes back to the 19th century and includes gaining territory in Bosnia, Kosovo, Croatia, Montenegro and other neighboring countries. The followers of that ideology recognize only a Serb nation, and they deny the existence of Bosnian, Croatian and Montenegrin languages. The idea was renewed before the bloody 1992 to 1995 war, and triggered by Bosnia's referendum for independence. It was part of what experts call classifying people into different groups, like us and them. In addition, the victims were given names such as jihadists, Turks, Balier, Turkophiles. This is known as symbolization, which leads to phase 3, dehumanization. In media, academic publications, public life and among Serb Orientalists, the Muslims have been portrayed as a threat to the realization of the Serbian hegemonist project, in order to mobilize domestic public opinion against the Muslims and to justify future acts against them in the eyes of the West.
It was a precisely planned genocide. The United Nations declared Srebrenica a safe zone in 1995, and Muslims escaped there. For Milosevic and Mladic, that was an opportunity to destroy Bosnians. It is very simple.
After Serb troops gained new territories in the region of East Bosnia, the Muslim population escaped to Srebrenica. The enclave was protected by 400 minimally armed blue helmets who were an easy target for the much larger Serbian forces, who were using resources of the former Yugoslav army, the 4th biggest in the world at the time. The UN withdrew within a few days and Serb troops took over the city. Adding to the existing propaganda against the Muslims, at one point a local TV channel reported that Muslims under the siege in Sarajevo fed Serbian kids to starving animals. The information was broadcast on the state-run TV Belgrade, and its program was watched by millions. Death lists are drawn up. Victims are identified and separated out because of their ethnic or religious identity. In Prijedor, Bosnian Muslims had to wear white armbands, and around 30,000 of them were sent to concentration camps. In Srebrenica, a similar plot. The Bosnian Serb army separated all men aged 12 to 77 and placed them in camps White House, Kravica, the cultural center of Pilica, and an old battery factory where they were later executed. 23,000 women and children were deported from the city within 30 hours. Many women reported being raped.
I would rather he had killed me than do this.
Then the mass killing began. Serb forces killed at least 8,732 Muslims, mostly men. The youngest victim didn't live even 1 day.
I realized the end was near and that I could no longer hide, so I jumped off the truck with others. There was so much shooting going on. Sharp stones were hurting my feet. Soldiers told us, "Find your place." I did not understand what they meant, but when I came closer, I saw rows of dead people.
The bodies were buried in mass graves, and some brought from one death hole to another, known as secondary mass graves. Hundreds and hundreds of bodies are still missing. and some families only found partial remains of their loved ones. Despite the enormous loss and verdict of the International Court of Justice calling this massacre a genocide, no Serb leader has called it that way. This is the final stage of genocide: denial.